Hello everybody, Maven here, and the reissued exotic auto rifle, the Necrochasm, has returned, and a lot of us already have our hands on it because you get it guaranteed simply by beating Crota on contest mode, which is pretty simple. And today I'm going to be giving my brutally honest review of the Necrochasm. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm not going to be that YouTuber that says, this thing is broken, must get. No, I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's break it down. Don't forget to drop a like, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, so the Necrochasm is a 720 RPM kinetic auto that becomes a 900 RPM when you proc Desperation, which is like another kind of Desperado. Reloading after a precision final blow or a final blow with a Cursed Thrall explosion increases your rate of fire and improves stability and aim assist. And that Cursed Thrall explosion is, of course, procced by precision final blows. And they will also refill the magazine. Now, I do not have the catalyst yet, but all the catalyst does is just give Outlaw. That is as useless as the Mida multi-tool catalyst. Like, these weapons do not need that because they already have great reload speed. It's got 76 and you're probably going to run a loader. It does not need Outlaw. So I tested out the Cursed Thrall explosion here, and come to find out it has a pretty good radius. Like, it feels like it's more than that of things like Dragonfly and Firefly. And it also does 4 ticks of poison for 547, similar to the Thorn. And that AoE actually hits pretty hard. That's the most impressive thing about this. But the problem with that is it's an auto rifle. It's not a precision weapon. I am not a fan of putting precision perks like Dragonfly on full auto weapons. It just doesn't work out that often. It's the kind of thing that you really have to try to proc. But for example, if you're using the Ace of Spades with Firefly, it is a precision weapon, so you do it effortlessly. It's a lot different when it's an auto. And think about this, the Sunshot does that same kind of collat type effect, but you don't need a precision kill. You can get a body shot kill or an explosive payload kill and it will still proc impetus. The Necrochasm is asking way too much. And what I really wish the Catalyst did is they make it so while Desperation is active, body shot kills will even proc Cursed Thrall explosions, not just precision kills. I think that would be a great perk. That would really give the weapon a great power fantasy. And now we're going to do a little bit of comparisons because, as you know, we recently got another 720 RPM exotic kinetic auto rifle, the Quicksilver Storm. So it's only appropriate that we compare the two against each other. So let's do a side-by-side comparison killing Carl with both of these weapons. And keep in mind, the Quicksilver Storm's grenade launcher mode hits like a heavy weapon. It is why it is one of the most meta exotics in PvE right now. It is ridiculous. And you can see here, it is worlds ahead of the Necrochasm in terms of killing beefier targets. And the Necrochasm is so weak that I'm just going to cut the clip here. So let's move on to the next test. This is the ad cleared test for tightly grouped ads in low level content. And this is where the Necrochasm really shines. Those Cursed Thrall collats are very, very solid and can help you take down beefier targets that are near the trash mobs. But when you need to deal with the beefier target that is alone, don't even bother using the Necrochasm, just pull out your special or heavy. But while the Necrochasm can beat out the Quicksilver Storm in this scenario, the Quicksilver Storm is still good. It's still solid. That GL mode can deal with those majors, whereas the Necrochasm really can't. And you can still do some ad clear with it. You can collat targets because it hits really hard like a rocket launcher. But for the easy content test, I'm gonna have to give this one to the Necrochasm. But when we take it a step up to the Hydroponics Delta, where the ads are 3 times tankier than those Vex we just fought in Breakneck, it's a different story. Because while those Cursed Thrall explosions will still be solid at times, they're not gonna slay out as hard as they do in easy content. And also, just the auto rifle alone is going to feel like a pea shooter. The Quicksilver Storm at the base level still hits harder because it has those nanotech tracer rockets. But those grenade launcher shots will definitely be able to still collat things and one-shot any trash mob guaranteed. So in the content like this, where ads are tankier and not as tightly grouped together, such as Breakneck or Shirochi, the Necrochasm really suffers. But there's definitely a time and place for every type of weapon in the game, and for the Necrochasm, I gotta put it in the easy content. I would not attempt to use it in anything tougher. And it also seems like it'd be a pretty decent PvP weapon as well, but for this comparison, I'm giving it up to the Quicksilver Storm. Now, some of you guys may have heard rumors that the Necrochasm works with the Necrotic Grip. It makes perfect sense. Necrochasm, Necrotic Grip, and those Cursed Thrall explosions are green aesthetically and make it look like it's a weapon of sorrow. So taking a look here, it does work, but unfortunately, it does not proc Necrotic Grips on body shot kills. That is a huge missed opportunity for Necrochasm to shine. That's very disappointing. But it only gets worse and worse, because the only way you proc necrotic grips with this thing is on Curse Thrall Explosion kills, not even on tags. You can get a Curse Thrall Explosion, it can tag an enemy, but it will not poison them. That's so disappointing. So let's get this straight. You gotta get a precision kill with a 720 RPM auto, which is already a tough task. And then you have to get a collat kill on an enemy on the side, and then they have to spread poison to an additional enemy. And then for some weird reason, the necrotic grip doesn't work with this thing properly, where that poison enemy dies and it will not spread poison additionally like the osteo or the thorn will. So it's absolutely terrible. It is asking way too much. You need to have 3 enemies stacked on top of each other in order to proc necrotic at all. So honestly, don't even bother using the necrotic grips with this thing. I mean, it's fine for ad clear heavy content, but it's not worth making a build around. And to be honest with you, I feel like the best Necrochasm build around would be on Solar Titan with Actium War Rig, so that you don't have to reload while Desperation is procced. So you got Radiant and Triple Kinetic Surge and just go ham. I feel like that's the best way to use it, honestly. But even then, at that point, I would just use a Sweet Business if I was using Actium War Rig. But like I said before, the Necrochasm's not completely useless. Every weapon has its place. If you're doing like easy content, like helping a friend through a campaign, or doing strikes, or doing gambit, it's fine. Like, if it's ad clear heavy, those Curse Thrall Explosions are no joke when ads are tightly grouped together and also don't have a lot of health. It can put in the work. But a few weeks ago, I did do that all exotic primary weapon tier list video, and if I had the Necrochasm then, I would probably put it somewhere in the middle of C tier. So that is my brutally honest review of the Necrochasm. Now, if you're not much of a raider and you're wondering if this weapon is worth going for, I'm gonna say no. But if you do a lot of 6s in PvP, then I would say this weapon is worth getting. So that's gonna do it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and drop a comment, because interacting with the video in different types of ways like that really helps it out and helps the algorithm. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. Would love to have you here. And with that, I'll catch you in the next video. See you later.